The birthplace of Australian canyoning. 5 abseils. Numerous swims. A rock climbing exit with arguably one of the best belays in the country. Stunning natural beauty. And an overall bloody good time in the Aussie bush. Join me for a weekend adventure canyoning in the Blue Mountains, Australia.
I was going to say 4.5 as well. 4.5 stars. Alright, so Jared and I are off. One of our group members fell through today, so just the two of us. We've had a bit of a change of plans as well. We're heading to do a bit of a harder canyon now. One with a bit of a rock climb out. Jared fancies himself a bit of a climber, so we'll see how he goes leading it out, and I'll show you some shots along the way.
The canyon that we are descending today is named after a nymph in Greek mythology who turned into a natural spring to escape a desperate lover. The nymph was known widely for her beauty, which is likely how the canyon got its name, as it is truly a stunning constriction that feels otherworldly. The canyon was first discovered by white explorers in the 1930s, when members of the Sydney bushwalkers managed to climb up tree roots that ran beside a waterfall at the end of the canyon. The group then continued up the creek, managing to travel a large way upstream, before eventually being stopped by an impassable waterfall.
So we've made it to near the first abseil. As you can see, an insane view has popped up behind us. That's what we're going to be abseiling down to today. Hopefully 3-4 abseils.
In the 1940s, a bushwalker from Tasmania led a small group down the creek from the top, marking the first recorded canyon descent in Australian history. Now, despite the fact that it was the first canyon ever descended in Australia, it would remain infrequently done for over half a century. This was because the only way to return to civilization upon completing the canyon was another abseil deep into the Grose Valley, and then a long, trackless walk around a cliff face, eventually arriving at a popular tourist trail, 2 townships over. Word about the difficulty of the canyon spread, and a fearsome reputation developed, with eager groups regularly becoming benighted. In fact, when I first ventured into the art of canyoning 6 years ago, the canyon was rarely discussed, and on the off chance she was brought up in conversation, she was always accompanied by epic stories and warnings of the challenging exit. She was a bit like the Voldemort of the canyoning universe. It wasn't until some time in the 2010s that a rock climbing exit out of the canyon was established, turning what was once an extremely long, tiresome day into a more practical but still challenging day trip.
So we are at the start of the first abseil. You can see behind me right about there. Jared's gone down. It's about 30 meters or so. He's off road. I'm about to rig myself up and head down and join him. See you down there.
An awesome 30-meter abseil down an exposed rock wall led us directly to the anchor for the next pitch.
Copy. So we are at the top of the second abseil. Jared's just sent it down behind me. We had to do a little bit of work. We had to rejig the anchors up there and down here. There were some knots that we weren't sure on what they'd actually intended to tie. We weren't comfortable with using them. So this one here is 30 meters on the dot. We got a 60-meter rope, so we've set up a releasable system to make sure that I can lower him if he needs. You can see he's gone all the way down there. Pretty awesome abseil.
I first descended the canyon in 2022 with my good mate Brad. I still distinctly remember the feeling as we pulled our ropes down at the first abseil, of nervousness and excitement battling against each other to be the dominant emotion. It was to be our most ambitious canyoning trip that we'd completed. Luckily, the trip was successful despite a stuck rope that Brad had to prusik 20 meters up, and we were both overjoyed at the experience, as well as proud of the progression as recreational canyoners that we had made. We both agreed that the canyon was jaw-dropping and deserved a top 5 place in our list of favourite canyons. After completing the 2 abseils, we had a short scramble down through fields of ferns before arriving at the creekline. The air was filled with the sound of flowing water from the many small waterfalls flowing down the creek, and we could see the canyon walls forming up ahead.
So we're down at the canyon proper. We've just kitted up in our wetsuits. About to do the first and only abseil of the actual canyon, about 15 meters, hopefully in the flow. You can see behind me a fair bit of water. It's going to be a pretty awesome abseil. We'll see you there.
A few short wades that Jared embraced as an opportunity to swim, and some down climbing through slippery boulders, and we arrived at the abseil. In front of us, we could see the wide creek bed narrow and form a tight constriction, carved over millions of years by the power of flowing water. Behind us, a natural rock amphitheatre, with the rock face acting as a barrier between the dry eucalypt forests of above and the temperate rainforest and ferns of the canyon below. Jared rigged the abseil from the ledge next to the tree after we determined that the aquatic line that took us through the heart of the waterfall was clogged by logs and other debris. I attached my descender to the rope, did my final checks before disengaging my safety line and beginning the 15-meter abseil beside the pumping waterfall, landing in a deep pool of freezing cold water. I attempted a few deep breaths to adjust to the extreme temperature differential. However, only managed a couple gasps before swimming backwards and landing on a rock platform like a beached whale. The loudness of the waterfall meant that even attempting to shout would be futile, so I used hand signals to signal to Jared that he is ready to descend. We slowly started making our way through the canyon, marvelling at the walls of ferns and canopy of trees above us. The temperature difference from above the creek line to deep within the canyon is huge, with the warm sunlight above feeling like the opposite side of the world to the huge gusts of winds present in this wild and rugged landscape.
Done the abseil. Swimming through the canyon now. It is bloody cold. We're having a bloody good time as well.
Our movements are slow and considered, with the highly polished rock and mossy surfaces that make up the canyon increasing our chances of injury. A rolled ankle or sprained wrist in this environment could very well lead to hypothermia and an extensive rescue effort. We scout out numerous obstacles, checking the depth before jumps and assessing the risk of falling on down climbs around boulders and shallow pools of water. Partway through the canyon, Jared finds himself a naturally occurring jacuzzi. Now I know the Australian term for it is hot tub, but I think that referring to this freezing cold washing machine of water as anything warm gives a false impression of how bloody cold it actually was. Halfway through our journey, we locate a sketchy down climb running next to a powerful waterfall and shallow pool. A quick assessment of the hazard, and given how slippery the canyon surface is, in combination with the shallow depth of the pool below, we determine that climbing down this section unassisted is too risky. We rig another abseil to minimise danger to ourselves, which also conveniently allowed me to film this awesome shot of Jared abseiling inside the canyon. A final swim and we arrive at the end of the canyon, with the canyon walls peeling off to either side, almost hiding from the enormous and daunting rock face directly in front of us. Standing in environments like these, with huge rock walls surrounding you and being at the mercy of Mother Nature, always reminds me of how small and transient our problems as individuals are. Around us, thick trees and vegetation are blown around by the wind like cardboard, and now that we're finally out of the canyon constriction, we can feel the dropping pressure and sense an impending storm. A quick stop to take some photos, take our wetsuits off and eat some snacks before we prepare for our rock climb out.
So we've made it to the end of the canyon. You've got the waterfall down here behind me. You can see pretty cloudy, a little bit of rain. Definitely got a storm inbound, so we're going to pretty quickly head up and try and knock over the 2 climbs and get on our way out of here as soon as possible. Jared and I have done the first pitch, 1 of 3. He led it luckily enough. Awesome view behind us. Gonna go nail off the next 2 now. Here we are halfway up pitch 1, or technically pitch 2, based on how we've done it here. Jared's just hauled his bag up, and now I'm waiting here for him to pull the excess rope through and start the belay. Pretty awesome backdrop here. I think Jared said it's the best backdrop for a climb he's ever had, which is a pretty good achievement. I'm glad to have helped him unlock. See you at the top of the next pitch.
Completing the 2 pitches of climbing meant that we only had a short walk around to access a canyon which we could reverse, that is, climb up through, to break through the cliff lines and get onto the ridge.
3rd pitch done. How you feeling, Jared?
Top of the world.
Led all 3 pitches, smashed it. Just a little bit more hiking, we should get to the canyon. We got to reverse, get back to our car. Work hard to get it.
Arriving at the canyon, we are greeted by a mesmerisingly clear pool of water. Our initial plan was to go up through this canyon, like I had done so on my trip here 2 years ago. However, here we located an optional 3rd rock climb that would allow us to skip the swimming and wading upstream, and save us a fair bit of time. This rock climb is graded pretty difficult, a grade 19 in Australian standards, so we were grateful to have a handline attached to the top anchor to assist us through the climb. Jared got set up to lead the climb again before making it to the top and hauling our bags up, and assisting me to make it up there too. From here, we follow a vague trail winding through gullies and breaks in the cliffline, often assisted by hand lines to slowly gain elevation in this rugged environment.
We've done all the climbs and all the hand lines. awesome view behind me, as you can see. Bloody hard work and we're buggered. Hopefully just a bit more walking up here. We should be onto the ridgeline with some nice views and a bit more mellow gradient than the steep climbing we've been doing before.
It is a strange feeling, looking down below into the canyon that only several hours ago we were deep within. From above, although a visual difference in types of vegetation between the canyon itself and the surrounding area is apparent, it certainly does not give any indication to how beautiful the landscape really is down there. The thick tree canopy hides the canyon constriction from all but those who are willing to venture down there and to give it a crack themselves.
It's 5 o'clock, we finally made it to the top. Had a little bit of navigational issues with finding the gullies we were supposed to make our way up through the cliffline, but we've done it. Pretty relieved, pretty bloody tired. It's been a long day. Jared, how you feeling?
Feeling great, that was mad.
Feeling great. Not too long of a walk back up the ridge till we can join the trail that we walked in on, and then hopefully to the pub for a feed and a beer because I'm bloody hungry. Back at the car, I think it took about 8 hours in total. How you feeling, Jared?
Yeah, pretty buggered. Hard day.
Yeah, pretty buggered is an understatement. The exit took a fair bit longer. I think we're working from about, I don't know, 1:30?
Yeah, about that.
So 3 hours, 4 hours to get out. Awesome day out. We ended up doing, I think it was 5 abseils, 4 rock climbs up some dodgy hand lines, and yeah, some awesome views. How many stars out of 5 you giving it?
I'd give maybe 4.5.
I was going to say 4.5 as well. 4.5 stars.
We finished the day off by ducking into the local pub for a steak sandwich for myself and a chicken palmy for Jared. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone for watching, and I appreciate all the support. Make sure you check out my other videos. I did a multi-day canyoning trip in the Bungalbori area that you can check out here, and subscribe so you can see what else I get up to. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next Wollemi Adventure.